Welcome everyone to Game 2 in a series between TT1, Fanatics TT1 versus Evil Geniuses Idra. Game 2 taking place here on Tal'Darim Altar. TT1 spawning as the green Protoss player once again. Meanwhile, Idra spawning all the way on the other side of the map as the blue Zerg. So this is going to be Zerg versus Protoss once more. I would be rather surprised if Idra changed this race or if TT1 changed this race. Now, a couple of the comments that I got on the most recent video was, hey, turn up your volume, we can hardly hear you. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. I have bumped up my volume just a little bit, turning up my gain, and now it should all be well and good. Idra, not sure if he's going to be opening up with the fast hatchery or going for early Zerglings. Meanwhile, TT1 is setting up a pylon here on the front ramp. He should be able to either go for a forge or go for a forge fast expand, or even go for a nexus first with the forge. We'll see what's happening as the probes are now wandering about. we are gonna have a hatchery just in position over here, and really we need to wait and see if we're going to be going for a spawning pool, extractor first, extractor pool, extractor, or a hatchery, to figure out Idra's true strategy and true long-term goal. It may look like he's going for, it looks like he's actually going to go for a hatchery first this time around. Meanwhile, back over here, we are going for a forge first. So TT1 will have that forge up and running, and we'll see if that strategy will actually work out for him. One of the benefits that TT1 can do is that he can start trying to place down proxy pylons, and by placing down a pylon or two, he can force Idra to pull drones off of the mineral line, and by pulling those drones off of the mineral line, he can make it so that he gets an even stronger economic lead, as those drones will be forced to try to come over, take down a pylon. A spawning pool is now currently coming into play. You can still see almost 400 minerals so far, as TT1 wants to try to set up a nexus as well. The Zerglings will be coming out in just a moment, as well as the probe still wandering around back and forth, and we are now finally at 400 minerals. And what exactly is TT1 doing? I am not sure. Oh, he is going for that triple pylon block here as those drones are now coming in. So it's actually going to be a double pylon block, and now quickly canceling. So this was a strategy that we have seen recently, as well as a probe now deciding to back off here. It doesn't look like we are going to be getting any cannons. And that was a failed cheese attempt, as the probes were able to come over just in time, or the drones were able to come over just in time. Normally what a Protoss player tries to do is lay down 3 pylons here and then try to get a photon cannon here and a photon cannon here in order to start getting cannon damage onto the hatchery, and perhaps preventing any of those Zerglings from really getting any damage onto those buildings until the roaches are coming out, and then you would need a decent number of roaches to try to take down those photon cannons. Gateway is now nearly up, about halfway already. We are going to be getting 1 photon cannon. Most likely a second photon cannon will be coming in, but this front door is going to be rather weak against any roach pressure. Idra so far has essentially no army at this point. Drones now finally making their way out. Zerglings activating key Zelnaga watchtowers. We'll be able to see if any units try to slip out there. And now, as a photon cannon almost done warping in, the drone will be able to sneak by, as that Cybernetics core now warping in as well. TT1 continuing to just mine away inside his base. Harvester count 23 probes versus 23 drones at this stage. Army-wise, a slight advantage for Idra, but nothing to write home to your mother about. Only 100 minerals versus 0 minerals at this point, as that 1 photon cannon should be able to get a lot of damage on those Zerglings as they try to run by. The Nexus is finally up and running, double training up probes. There is a chrono boost on the Nexus. The Zerglings may try to squeeze in right there, but there is going to be a Zealot in just a moment. And I'm curious as to how this is really going to work. I don't see any real strategy coming in from Idra or coming in from TT1 at this stage, as a Zealot, for some reason, moved out, is going to engage. He is going to take a little bit of damage, but not all too much, as he is able to clean up 2 Zerglings. You can still see this drone over here wandering around on the inside. The drone does have natural regeneration, will be able to absorb a lot of damage, and now Idra once again coming off the, or trying to micro that 1 drone into play, as the drone just continuing to weave and maneuver throughout this base here. We are going to have a lot of probes mining down over here, as well as a Stalker finally making its way over. Natural health health, almost saving that drone, but not just quite, not enough. One Zergling here as a third base being set up over here by Idra, as Idra also taking down these destructible rocks as well, so establishing a very far third base. And Idra doing his natural response to a fast expansion by Protoss, just getting up another expansion before that 8-minute mark. Army-wise, 275 versus 150. We are going into level 1 ground weapons upgrade, sentries, and a robotics facility. The level 1 weapons upgrade are going to be very crucial at handling any serious Zergling pressure, but there's only one gateway so far and one robotics facility, nothing that TT1 has to really train units for. We are going to get Idra up and running off of a second, with a second queen in just a moment. It is going to be transferred over here. It is going to have a very, very long walk, I believe. Perhaps even laying down a creep tumor before moving along its merry way. Drones are being transferred over here. That queen does move rather slowly, not quite as slow as an overlord, but still very, very slowly, as we are now going into hive tech. And 8 minutes and 20 seconds into this game so far, Zergling's about to be completed with this one set of destructible rocks, and a third or fourth hatchery may be placed down to get his fourth base up and running. An overlord now trying to suicide its way in. Doesn't really have to worry all too much. Only a couple sentries here. 3 sentries should be able to shut down that overlord if TT1 actually spots it. He does, but he is not responding to it just quite yet. Not quite sure why. The observer did pass by there. The stalker now going to make their way over, and we see additional warp gates in the back. Is Idra going to actually see it? Yes, he is going to actually spot all of those warp gates. And we are going to be getting immortals out. So those immortals need to be trained up rather quickly in order to deal with those roaches. Those roaches really only vulnerable to those immortals. The stalkers simply don't have enough hit points in order to tank against those roaches. Those sentries don't have enough either, as the Zergians may try to do a run by straight into this base. Idra currently running off of 3 bases, should be getting up a 4th base in just a moment. We are seeing Idra sitting at 111 food, so his economy, that the crazy Idra macro now coming in, training up 11 roaches at a time. And those roaches will be knocking on that front door. Pneumatized carapace, in addition to the Glio reconstitution, roaches are now getting in position. The overlords should be able to just start spreading creep across the map, allowing those roaches to even find their target much more quickly. Level 1 weapons upgrade already completed, so those roaches going to be dealing 18 damage per attack. The stalkers and the sentries now making their way out. One immortal with 55 damage per attack, and we'll see what really happens of there. TT1 has to be really worried though, as those Zerglings may try to be able to do a sneak in, a run by, as these units are making their way out. The zealots down over here, or stalkers down over here, trying to clean up against any of those units here, and it is going to be 2475 versus a 2350, as more units are still being warped in continually, being warped in onto that low ground. Another ground, a group of stalkers now warping in as well, as we are going into 6-gate play. So the stalkers are now going to be trying to engage. There are a lot of roaches down on the ground, a lot of sentries. The sentries, many of them are at maximum energy, so they should be able to get some force fields, prevent any retreat. And then Idra will be trying to fight against us, Idra will be fight with a split force army. Stalkers now trying to come in as well. Both sides battling it out. Here we go. There are the force fields. Roaches really unable to engage anywhere. Couple roaches have been taken down already. The stalkers need to try to push in, now taking down those creep tumors instead. The roaches trying to use that creep to their advantage, because they do have that movement speed upgrade. Another round of stalkers now warping in. But this is a pretty even battle in terms of mineral, as both sides dancing back and forth. The immortals really need to be in that front portion there. There's another round of force fields, as those roaches are not really able to engage. In come the roaches from the south and from the north. Both sides are battling it out, as those immortals are able to dish out that damage, and this is a problem for Idra. Idra is now quickly falling behind. The reinforcements are coming just a little bit too late. Many of those roaches are unable to battle here, and I believe that Idra is end up going to lose this battle. There you go. Idra has left the game. Just absolutely frustrated, most likely, with the fact that the force fields were just so difficult to stop. Really, Zerg needs another way to get massive units to try to break down force fields during the middle portion of the game. Just very, very difficult. Anyways, TT1 taking the victory here from Idra, and we will have a Game 3 in this Best of 3 series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed Game 2. Stay tuned for Game 3.